Hey, what's going on guys? Quamii here, and welcome back to the channel. So we all know that it's December right now, and we are all on edge because we want the wipe to happen. So when it finally wipes, there'll be a whole bunch of new players who'll be considering about buying the game and thinking about getting into Escape from Tarkov. A wipe is an official reset, so everyone's gear gets put back to the default starting gear. All the quests that you had done before have to be redone, and your character is put back to level 1. So in today's video, I've put together 5 things that you need to know if you decide to take up this game and get into Escape from Tarkov. These are the things that you absolutely must know before you make your purchase for Escape from Tarkov. So if you're a new player and thinking of starting out in Escape from Tarkov, then this is the video for you. Don't forget to like the video if you liked it and give it a thumbs up for me. If you want to support the channel and help the channel grow, don't forget to hit that subscribe button for me. Subscribing helps me out quite a bit, guys. I really do appreciate it, and thank you all so far for the support. Feel free to drop by the live stream and say hello sometime. I stream 6 days a week at twitch.tv/Quamii. All other details will be in the description box below. Now we got all that stuff out of the way, guys. Let's get into it. Alright, so let's start from the beginning. Number 1, the main thing that you need to know if you're going to start this game is that this game is very, very hard. It's very difficult. It's not an easy sort of a game. And coupled with that, it's a game that has a huge learning curve, and it's very, very in-depth. It will take you a really, really long time to learn everything, including the maps. And one of the main reasons why it's so difficult is because you die very, very easily. All it takes is one bullet to the face and you're donezo. That's it. That's the end of the raid for you. And it's very difficult because it's a combination of looter shooter, survival shooter, hardcore militarized sort of PvP game with quests thrown in the middle of it. That's pretty much it. That's pretty much what the game is. So some of the things you're going to need to learn is the game mechanics, just the fundamentals of how the game feels, because the game feels quite different compared to your other typical FPS games like Call of Duty and PUBG and that sort of a thing. The movement feels quite slow compared to those types of games like Call of Duty. It's actually quite slow, and like the word I'm going to use is clunky. It feels very, very weird. It feels strange at first, but you eventually get used to it. But if you're expecting a game where you can just run around constantly with like 100 FPS or 200 FPS if you used to play CSGO, and you want that kind of smooth movement, fluid, sort of no lag sort of thing, yeah, that's not this game. That is not Escape from Tarkov. Tarkov is full of problems like that. A lot of the time for me personally, when it comes to frames, I get like 80, and then sometimes it'll randomly dip to 30. And I'll get into a fight with 30 frames, and there's nothing I can do about it. It's just the game. It's just the game being unoptimized. So if you're expecting a highly optimized game, this is the wrong game, man. Sorry. So there's going to be heaps of things you're going to need to learn. One of the main things is the gun mechanics. The gun, like, putting them together and stuff is so different. I've never seen this in any other game before. There's only specific things that can go on specific attachments that can go onto your rifle or your weapon, whatever it may be, and some of them require like a specific type of rail that can go onto the thing before that gets attached to your gun. You know what I mean? Like it's very, very in-depth and that kind of a thing. Not to mention there's many variations of ammo types. So the same weapon can take multiple different 5.56 rounds, for example, but some of the rounds will be better than others. Some ammunition will have a higher penetrative chances, and some of them will have higher flesh damage. So flesh damage is the damage to the actual person. Penetrative damage or armor damage is the damage that goes through armor. So you're going to have to eventually learn which ammo goes for what gun, what attachments go for what, how do you put this onto that, etc, and all that sort of stuff. And you're going to have to learn that with all the guns, okay? And not to mention all the meds and how the meds work and how they differ from each other and all that sort of stuff. So you got a long road ahead of you. I'm just letting you know right now, okay? So that'll be that. Let's move on. Okay, number 2. The game is still in beta or beta, whatever the hell you want to call it. Meaning the game isn't fully released yet. It is still very, very unoptimized. They still haven't worked out all the kinks and all the issues and all the problems. So because it's still in beta and the game isn't fully optimized, what it means for you is that you can randomly, you have like your standard 60 FPS or whatever it is, and then all of a sudden you could drop to 30, just out of nowhere, and the game and the servers will just lag. And this is considered normal in this game. It's even worse when the server lags and you're in the middle of fighting another player, and it lags so bad that he just teleports in front of you, and then he kills you, and then you die. And it's very, very client-side a lot of the time. So what you see is not necessarily what the enemy sees. So you could be, like I said, you could be fighting with some guy. He just teleports in front of you, and you're like, and he kills you, and you're like, what the hell? Is that a cheater? But on his screen, what you'll see is he runs up normally, and he's like, oh, there's a guy there, and then he kills you. That's just how the game is, because it's still in beta. It is unoptimized. It hasn't been, they haven't worked out through all the kinks in the chains yet, okay? So a lot of these things are unfortunately still going on with the game. They are trying. It's definitely a lot better than what it used to be, let me tell you. Like when this, I think I started playing in like 0.6 or 0.7, and we are currently at 12.11. And this happens kind of every now and again, and not all the time like it used to be. So they are trying. Cut them some slack, alright boys? So keep that in mind when things go wrong, or the game lags really bad. The game is still in beta, they're working on it, and they still haven't fully released all the stuff that they want to release, such as new guns, maps, etc, etc, okay? So this is going to be number 3, and this one is a big issue with the game, and I mean, quite a big issue. Unfortunately, there is a lot of cheaters in this game, okay? I don't want to get too in-depth about it, and the reasons why they cheat, and the things that they're doing. It doesn't matter, okay? But I don't want to be talking about the specific reasons why they're doing it. Don't matter. I'm just going to tell you outright, there are a lot of cheaters in this game. And it's hard to tell the difference sometimes with when it happens and when it doesn't, but I would be lying to you if I said it doesn't happen. It got really bad at one stage where it was probably like every second raid, I'd have a cheater in my game. And at the moment, it's not too bad. You may have heard from other sources, oh, there's cheaters everywhere, and it's ruining the game, and BSG, which is Battle State Games, they don't really care. That is an absolute lie. Of course they care. Of course they care about people cheating in their game. The problem is, it's just, every time they get onto it, the cheaters come up with another way to cheat. Okay? That's more or less how it is. Like I said, I don't want to get into it. Okay? It's not my fight to fight the cheaters. It's Battle State Games' issue, and they're doing their absolute best to get on top of it, okay? And don't let this deter you, because they have gotten rid of a whole bunch of cheaters, especially in the last year or so, so things are starting to look up. So all in all, the situation with the cheaters has improved a lot, and hopefully it will just keep going from there, and things will continue to be positive for us. So moving on to number 4, and this one is probably the biggest issue that most people will talk about in this game. There's no easy way to say this, so I'm just going to say it. The audio sucks, okay? This audio in Escape from Tarkov is probably the worst audio you've ever heard in your entire life for any video game. So I'm talking like people are right next to you making noise, and you can't even tell what direction that noise is coming from. That kind of bad. And it can get even worse sometimes when you're playing in a building where there's multiple levels in that building. So there's like first floor, second floor, third floor. Because you'll be on one floor and you'll hear something moving around, and you can't tell if that's on your floor or not. Okay? And the audio really, really kicks you in the balls when you're trying to listen into where this guy is, and a player just sprints up behind you from the bottom of the steps, and you're at the top of the steps. So that's 3 floors up, just for an example. He sprints from first floor all the way up to second floor, up to third floor where you are, shoots you in the back, and you don't hear a single footstep. That kind of bad. That's what I'm talking about. This is the kind of thing that shits people really, really, really bad, and they lose it because of it. And that's the kind of thing that happens, and they're like, you know what? I'm not playing this game anymore. This sucks. Okay? This blows. And you know what? I don't blame him. It gets really, really annoying a lot of the time. But this is also considered normal in this game. And when you tell people about that, their response will just be, yeah, it sounds like you got Tarkoved. You know, oh, that's Tarkov for you. And they're right. This is exactly what happens in this game. I've never seen any other game where the audio is like that. Once again, it used to be even worse than what it is. Right now, it's not too bad, but you obviously still have your issues where similar situations like that do happen on the regular. And this actually happened to me the other day, where I was playing in a raid, and I actually ran into one of my friends. And I came up this ramp, and I just fell over and died. I didn't hear anything. I just went, ugh, from like the animation and the sounds of the character dying. I'm like, I'm dead. What happened? Did a grenade blow up? I don't know. I just fell over and died. It turns out he shot me in the face. Like, I didn't hear that audio bullets. And that's something that happens in this game. People can shoot you and you don't even... There's no audio sounds. There's no audio cues for the bullets when someone's firing at you. And this is something that happens quite a bit. Okay? But once again, it is a lot better than what it used to be. They're working on it. They know that this is an issue and an ongoing issue with the game. And they're doing their absolute best. And we know this because there's been a lot of improvements since... like last year, for example. If we look back from last year to now, there's been mostly positive outcomes so far. So, once again, if you are expecting AAA sort of standard with the game, where you can hear absolutely everything from every single direction, yeah, nah, this ain't it. Sorry. So the last thing that we're going to talk about is there is usually a wipe every 5 months or so. So that means it's a reset, as I've mentioned before earlier in the video. There's a reset every 5 months. So what that means for you is that I know you've probably, especially for new players, it's very, very difficult to build up your stash, do all these quests that you've worked really hard for. Trust me, I know. And get all this really nice gear, make them rubles, and all that. And then all of a sudden, a wipe happens and then you've lost it all. I know it sucks, but... all in all, it's not all that bad. The reason why BSG do resets or wipes is because the game isn't fully released yet. So they're trying to add in new things and see how it is, and then they want to wipe everyone's account, and then they see how it plays out from there. This is to make it more fair for the other players in comparison to people who've been playing the game for ages. Because if they didn't reset, there'd be so many high-level players, and there'd be all the low-level players they won't want to play because it'd be totally unfair all the time, just running into the same people who are extremely high level and that sort of a thing. It's also important to note that there will be no more wipes when the game is fully released. So don't fret too much that a wipe has happened and you've lost all your gear, because at the end of the day, your gear doesn't matter. It's just pixels, dude. So try not to worry about it, and just know that there's going to be another wipe, at least until the game is fully released. So yeah. Alright guys, that's what I got for you today. That's the end of the video. We're going to wrap it up there. Thank you so much for watching until the end. I hope you learned something, and I hope you new players have kind of got a better understanding of what you're getting yourself into if you decided to start Escape from Tarkov. This is not an easy game. There are a lot of ups and downs, but for the most part, the pros outweigh the cons. And that's part of the reason why we love this game, and that's part of the reason why we stick with it no matter what. Feel free to leave a like on the video if you liked it and if you found it useful. Also leave a comment down below if you have any questions. I am more than happy to answer them for you. If you guys haven't already, don't forget to hit that subscribe button for me. Subscribing to the channel does help me out quite a bit, guys. And I thank you all so far for the support. I do appreciate it. Feel free to drop by the live stream and say hello sometime. I stream 6 days a week at twitch.tv/Quamii. All other details will be in the description box below. Thank you all for watching. Remember to keep practicing, keep improving, stay Quam. If you're a new player, welcome to Tarkov, and hopefully, I'll see you on the live stream.